So we live. That's gonna be my new, my new, my new opening to all my videos. So we live. We live in this piece. Mm. The queen is not real. Hey, what up? What up, cuz? Yo, what's up, Xavier? How's it going, man? Yeah, yo, and I still remember, yeah, you said you was gonna come out. Yeah, let me know you come out, man. You said you gonna come to Europe in a couple weeks, some shit like that, and then try to just, see what happens in a year. I say go for it, man. I say try it, see what happens. Just, yeah, because like I said, man, do the math time. Yeah, man, with the oh, thanks, the queen is not real. Just wishing you a stream. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do one tonight and then tomorrow night for sure. AD, I'm making vegan pancakes right now. Word up, cool, man. Yeah, now okay, yeah. Now as soon as I read that, I remember. I think you do the workout shit, right? I think I follow you on Instagram. I remember seeing that shit. I love watching that shit, man. Like it's always real. Like you just have a real. If you who I'm thinking about with the workout thing on Instagram, it was real fucking great. Yo, AD, greetings from the UK. What's up? And I almost pronounced that wrong. So it's about 7 p.m. there because I think we're an hour behind UK where I am. Yo, what's up? Buy a doll and die alone. yo, yo, for real, man. With that name, I tell you what, man. When it comes to that shit, like if I wasn't sadistic when it comes to sadistic. If I wasn't sadistic when it comes to sex, like I would totally do a sex doll. But like I gotta hear like I would totally because they look fucking amazing. Like I would just go ahead just spend that upfront money on a sex doll and just keep that motherfucker. Right? I would totally do that shit. Cause some of them got like so I mean because they can build them however you want to be built. You know what I'm saying? Like so they look amazing. I would just spend that up front because the last time I looked into it, I think they cost about. Oh, you say you can't stay for long, Mo? Okay. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, Mo. I appreciate it, man. Um, um, with the sex dolls, like you can build them however you. Last time I looked into them, like for the decent quality ones, for the better looking quality ones, they'd be like 2,000, like between $1,500 and $2,000, and that is a steep price, for some upfront shit. But the fact that you just got it, as long as you take care of it, you just take care of it, properly. And I'd say do it, fucking do it, dude. Like I would do that shit. Like if I wasn't sadistic, as I like for bitches to know that they getting dominated when I'm fucking them. So like that's part of what turns me on. If I don't get that like that connection on that level, the woman to just accept that she likes to be dominated type of shit, and then like lets me just like lets me be rough with her in bed. If I don't get that connection, then I got no connection to it at all. Sadistic logic, yo. I miss your classic breakdown videos, mate. They were stuffed with logic and also funny. Word, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, the thing is, I don't know. I don't say I got tired of doing it. Maybe I just got burnt out for a little while. I just got burnt out for doing from because the time I usually would do it would be when I wake up, and I don't know. I just got burnt out of doing it because I wake up around like I'd get out of bed like 9 10 a.m. or something like that, and then just record it. And I don't know. I just got burnt out of doing videos. I think. What the fuck is the title? Yeah, that's what you guys say, man. Because this is actually an article I covered this woman a while back. Her name's Jana Hocking. It was sent to me by a watcher, and he asked me if I could go over these two articles about her. And like this woman is just a fucking train wreck, all right? like she's just. Luckily, she's not. Luckily, at least in these pictures, she's not fat yet, so she still has that going for her. But this woman is just an absolute fucking train wreck, dude. Absolute train wreck. Complete train wreck. And like I said, and with shit like this article, I tell you what, with shit like this, replace whenever a woman, okay, whenever it's shit like this, literally replace it with man defends breaking into ex's home. And imagine how society would immediately categorize this shit. The man is an immediate abuser, stalker, manipulator, incel, couldn't keep a woman, blah, blah, blah. They would immediately dog him out, dude. And that's the other part of what I want guys to think about, you know? That's my main thing of doing is to show maybe some guys already know how to think like this and just like, just like to hear somebody else say it, or some guys maybe they didn't know how to think like that, and I could be helping them, but for whomever it may concern, I do this to show the realities of what equality actually is. Like I said, like with equality, do you think what's this website? The New Zealand Herald, is that what that shit is? Do you think these motherfuckers would actively put up man defends breaking into ex's house with the man smiling, talking about some in the fucking picture? See, and be honest with yourself. Ask yourself that. If this had been, instead of woman, replace that shit with man and put a man up there talking about some. Could you imagine the backlash from that shit, dude? These motherfuckers, they be on a witch hunt for that motherfucker. They be out there trying to cut his motherfuckers would literally. A motherfucker would literally try to cut a man's dick off. Cut the man's dick if they had to put a man in that same or just the title and picture alone, right? But that's the benefit of being woman. That is the benefit of being woman. This bitch can legit get a breaking and entering, a B&E. And be posing the picture. This bitch got a B&E and said I'm talking about some. Hey, ain't gonna do nothing about it. But she could tell me, you know what I'm saying? See, this shit I be talking about. This is what I was talking about last night, man. Like, the only thing that keeps women from just raping, from just like stealing whatever they want and raping motherfuckers and is the fact is because they know they're gonna do it one too many times and a man's gonna beat the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that's keeping any moral thought pattern going in most of them at all times, right? Like, what's up, Tope? Would you do a talk with other mixed? Yeah, sure. Actually, I got motherfuckers' numbers in my phone. I just don't be texting nobody, man, and that's my bad. I'm just bad at communicating. I got some motherfuckers' numbers in my phones, I'm sure they'd be down to do it. I'm just bad at texting motherfuckers. That's just my thing. I'm bad at it. Yeah, I'd totally be down to do a talk for sure. Yeah. I'd totally be down for a talk. I'm not opposed to that. She broke in to go back on the KFC. What's up, Nuclear Bomb? How do you check your emails? I sent one. Yo, I seen that about scissors. I seen that about the Weeknd. But I don't know much about the Weeknd, and I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a kind of lengthy email, so like I was skimming through it. But I could read it real fast. Let me just read it. Okay. I know the paradox of the bad guy getting women and not the nice, respecting, considerate guy. The Weeknd, music artist, has lyrics that I would consider distasteful to women. Women cry about men cheating and other mistreatments, etc. The Weeknd is the bad guy in the music, super F-boy. Is he different, better person today? I think so, but it's still jarring. With R. Kelly, some of his songs might have been inspired by his messed up experience that have him in jail now. I ain't know he was in jail now. Okay, I know he got fucked up, but I ain't know he actually went to they actually legitimately incarcerated that motherfucker. There's nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Yeah. Y'all remember? You remember the SNL skit where he was like, "All these songs I made, feeling on your booty, and so many other clues." Don't know if those lyrics come from those dark experiences. I guess these dumb hypocritical bitches will smile smug and tell me that it's not a sexual offender, that he's not a sexual offender. Christian Grey has also got away with his BS. Well, okay, for real. Okay, my opinion. I'm just going because this is about halfway through it. My opinion right there is okay. I guess these dumb hypocritical bitches would smile, smug, and tell me that he's not a sexual offender, and that's the difference. Well, okay, well, for real, the difference is that these men that you mentioned, they've already been validated by other women in their life on some point. So when like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with this shit. When it comes to strictly women's psychology on sex offenders and shit like that, when it strictly comes to women hate to talk about this shit. And again, I'm diving into God Bless America territory, all right? But women, they hate to speak on this shit out loud because no woman wants to be seen as the one who secretly might like a guy who's a sex offender and all that shit because that social status. So she doesn't want to destroy her image, right? But here's the reality on that shit, man. My opinion of the reality of it is, in woman's mind, as long as there was another woman that validated that man, he is immediately okay with her on some level. It doesn't matter if the girl was 15, 16, some shit like that. That don't matter. Now, the older bitches, they just get mad about it because, like, oh, he likes to fuck young girls. He likes to fuck children. All that shit. Like, but for real, see, women strictly operate off of, did another woman say it was okay? And if that other woman says it's okay, then it's fine. All right. To that now, if you ask her about it and she knows by social standards, motherfuckers look down on it, okay, well then she'll elaborate like, oh no, that guy's a fucking gross creep. But like I say all the time, man, see these sex offender dudes, all these motherfuckers always, the sex offender, whether they've been like legitimately, caught legally or motherfuckers just know they sex offenders type of shit. These motherfuckers always have bitches. All right. See that stigma and this is the brutal reality on that shit. That stigma behind sex, like dudes doing some wild sex shit. That stigma is men thinking that women want to feel and hear and think that. So they'll try to like. Some guys, they'll just kind of follow the crowd and do whatever they think that woman wants to hear. But the reality of it is, woman, she don't like when it comes to sex, woman, it doesn't even register in her brain anywhere near the same way as it registers in man's brain. In woman's brain, it doesn't register at all in the same way with her. All right, at all. It like to a man, it's the fucking conquest for the on average in the world. It's the conquest of the evening, the conquest to finish off a good week, the conquest to receive validation, that he's still desired by the woman and all that shit. And then, but it's kind of like that. Okay, it's more of a one-track destination. Like, got it, okay, good, done, and then wait till you get horny again, want to fuck another bitch. Whereas bitches with sex, to them, like, bitches have to be told what sex is. Like, of course, guys do too at certain ages. But even when they get older, like, they really don't get, like, women don't understand the value. Like, they have to acquire the learning of value to sex and what that means to men. And then women just learn to adapt to whatever men think and view and say and feel about it so they can just look good in society. You see what I'm saying? But to women, like to lone women, bitches will fuck turtles, they'll fuck camels, they'll fuck dogs. They don't care. Because see, to woman, to her perspective, it's just the art of feeling something and it's just having needs and acting on the impulses of needs. And after that, it's no big deal. Now after that, then it kind of turns into, the women want to fuck some guy's boyfriend because she didn't got jealous and shit like that. That comes later. But initially, she don't, that value system is not, that value system, woman has to learn that shit. Because I guarantee if you seriously, well, you see it now, if you let woman go in the world, which we're seeing now through modern feminism, and they're gaining this false sense of intelligence from modern feminists. If you let women go, they'll fuck, they'll just ride the KFC for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's nothing to them. It's just acting on an impulse because they bored or they genuinely were, sexy or whatever, you feeling sexy or whatever the fuck. Let me continue with this shit. But again, okay, but now to go back on that. So yeah, so on one hand, you could look at like motherfuckers like The Weeknd and the fictional dude Christian Grey, and bitches don't got a problem with him. right? But who is it? Who is it? The guys that bitches always got a problem with? Who is it? It's the guys who don't got who clearly don't have a woman already. That's always where the problem's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? The guys who clearly don't have a woman in sight. This is why I try to tell you guys all the time. Unless you got your own specific swagger for real type of thing, the worst thing you can do is to say you're single when you talking to a woman. That's the worst thing you can do. Woman's whole value system and who's a creep. She can go. Okay, so desktop audio device. Okay, here we go. Sounds back. This type audio device. Okay, here we go. Okay. So. All right. Yeah, my bad. Like, yo, I have no idea what the fuck happened. I didn't change, like, y'all see me. I didn't change any fucking thing in the settings. Sound just died. Yeah, I ain't changed anything. That's just fucking Streamlabs. Or it's something. I'm gonna get on Streamlabs again, man, because that's just fucking ridiculous. I'm literally in the middle, didn't touch one setting, and then the sound just cuts out. Like, what the fuck? No, backtrack 2 minutes. Okay, so let me go back and see where I left off at. No sound, no audio. Oh, well, so Daniel says you ever think about doing a podcast. I don't know how to do like specific podcasts, Daniel. I have no idea how to do that. Yeah, I have no idea how to actually set up like a specific podcast. I have no idea where the fuck I was at. So I probably just like rambled for a fucking 20 minutes and couldn't forgot what the fuck I was saying. I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about. So anyway, since that fucked up, let's just go ahead and do morning. Oh, call me Lexington Steel from now on. What's up, Zuki? So we'll go on in this article. Um, Again, this ridiculous shit. Let me keep this. Let me keep. I'm trying to make sure the audio don't go out again. So where I started out with is this woman. I covered this woman a while back, and she's just a fucking train wreck, dude. Like this woman is just a bunch, just a train wreck. Okay, so Ivy Bo says you talked about the difference of men who are not creeps and those who are viewed as creeps. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Ivy Bo, yeah, thanks a lot, Ivy Bo. So usually the okay, what's gonna make a man a creep to a woman is gonna be. Hang on, let's switch it off. Switch to me real fast. You know, this janky ass shit, man. Like, all right, test. This janky man, Streamlabs is janky as fuck. All right. Streamlabs is jank. I'm gonna ask my money back, man, because this is fucking ridiculous. I'm in the middle of doing shit. Ain't changed one setting this whole time. Now it's an audio just cuts out for no fucking reason. It's a fucking joke. Streamlabs is a fucking joke, man. I'm on an Apple M1 Air, and this is a fucking joke. So anyway, okay, so I feel like I should keep the audio on the back now, just so I can hear myself to make sure the audio doesn't cut out. So the difference when it comes to men being creeps and men being not creeps is this is just basic. It's this very simple basic situation. Women always want what other women want, right? So when you are a man, and the worst thing you can do when talking to a woman is to let her know you're single, is to openly say you're single, right? Because at that point you will immediately lose value to that woman, like because her, like I say, that judgmental thing, like it's all backwards. You see what I'm saying? Like, because woman's gonna look at you like, oh well, you single, so women must not like you. There must be a reason why. I don't know. She's gonna walk in there far more hesitant. Whereas like if you like never tell a woman you're single ever. Like don't do that. You are never single. Like tell her you got a girl, y'all on break, so you just kind of talking to her right now, whatever. Anything. Telling a woman that you single is literally like the worst thing you can do. Because the woman is always on that social status thing. So the creepy guys are always guys who clearly don't have a woman. So when it comes, so I don't, maybe it cut off here with the last time when I was rambling about this, but it's hard to concentrate because I got to keep the volume on in the background. So if the audio cuts out again, let me know. So so It's always the guys who are always considered creeps are the guys who clearly don't have a woman. You ever notice that shit? Like you ever notice how when guys have a woman, when a guy already has a woman, like women don't they don't tear him down anywhere near as on that incel shit and all that shit like that. They don't apply that shit to him at all. Like he immediately escapes that shit. And here's the thing: a lot of guys end up identifying themselves by that, so then they feel like they got to do whatever they can to stay in that loop and shit. But in the end, like this is what bitches do. Bitches will they have to see that another woman has validated you. You see what I'm saying? It's like once a woman sees that another woman's validated you, that you are automatically at minimum all right with her now. But if you just completely solo and alone, and on top of that, other motherfuckers aren't let me tell you. Yeah, and other motherfuckers aren't going on about your girlfriend or wife or something when she ain't there, type of shit. And it's clear, like, okay, like he don't got a girl, he don't got a woman, blah, 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 blah. That woman is not going to have a certain level of respect for you, right? Never. And she probably never will. At least until you get with her and then you go off to another woman. You know what I'm saying? and then you're shooting her rumors back that another woman's paying you attention. At that point, she can probably start respecting you. But if you make it clear you're completely single, it's a much more difficult path out of that shit. Like jobs, like getting jobs, like finding work. You find work. Once you find a job, now you've been validated by that job. But when you are that lone employee, that lone person out looking for a job, well, other like the jobs looking at you will be like, well, I don't know, that motherfucker, he is alone, he don't got shit right now. They run a higher chance of looking at you like that. Let me make sure, because now my chat screen isn't updating like it should. Don't say, Artemis says, don't say you're single and women value through other. Yeah, for sure. So let me switch this back to the scene. And let me do an audio check to make sure I ain't lose audio again because I switched scenes. Don't say you're single, women value through other. Yeah. So I'm waiting on it. It's always about like a 15-second lag. So, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So it sounds like I'm good. So, back to Jana Hocking, right? This shit is fucking ridiculous. Again, if you want to take a clip, if you want to take a glimpse into woman privilege, again, imagine if they had wrote this article, but instead replace woman with man defends breaking into ex's home, and a man up there smiling talking about some, and imagine what society would do to him. That's that woman. Especially if she's even kind of cute, she can get away with anything. So Jana Hocking revealed she broke into her ex's house to delete a nude photo from his phone while he was asleep. This bitch did a breaking and entering to delete it. She ain't do that to delete no nude photo. She went in there to do some other shit. All right, and she put because the nude photo. See, and see, bitches. This is what I say all since the last when I was talking about the God. See, this is the God Bless America routine. Whenever a woman does something wrong, she has to put it on being a victim of in some type of way to justify it. And then and every bitch knows that if she runs to the victim stage of anything that has to do with sex, well, it's God Bless America. It's God Bless America all over again. If you question it, well, you must advocate whatever sexual thing that was done to her. And you're evil, you're a pedophile, incel, whatever, you're a pervert, everything. See, and here's the thing. Like I say, bitches know this. They know it. It's the God Bless America routine. These bitches, this bitch, she knows it. That's why they had to include it at the end. All right? Let's not forget the fact that she just committed a B&E. Well, we just gonna forget about that. We ain't gonna pay that beat, But he had a nude photo. Anything that has to do with sex, then you're gonna stumble back. Like I said, if it has anything to do with sex, you go stumble back into the whole God Bless America routine, and nobody's gonna question it. Because if you do, well, you're an immediate pervert now, and bitches know it. And here's the thing: if you stand up, well, see, and like I said in the last live stream, if you stand up for it, well then she knows. She may not get you with it, but guess what? she knows those beta chumps will fall for it. So all she has to do is just use a triggering word like, oh, you must be an incel or you must be this. And then at that point, she'll just sit back and wait for either other beta chumps to come in to protect her and rise up because they seen or heard or read the buzzword, or or some other reject woman will come in and take her side. Bitches know it, dude. They know it. It's how they operate. It's how they operate. So let's get started in this article. I gotta hear myself. Okay, yeah, I'm still on. All right. So it says, a woman who controversially admitted to breaking into her ex's home to delete a nude photo from his phone has revealed she stands by her decision, despite facing fierce criticism for the confession. Jana Hocking, age 34, and this is 3 years ago, so she's 37 now, described entering her former partner's home while he slept in order to protect herself from a feared revenge shared in her latest relationship column for women. But while the potential sexting disaster is something many women can relate to, some people thought the radio podcast host from Sydney had gone too far. And let's be clear. She didn't break in the house to delete a nude photo. All right. You know how many, how many guys who done recorded her gagging on a fucking dick in the backseat of a Honda Accord? All right. She don't give a fuck about that nude photo. All right. Listen, she ain't breaking in for that nude photo. Let's be real. She already broke in to try to steal some money or some, or hopefully, in her weird woman logic, catch him with another woman because she feels like that'll help her truly move on or some shit. Like, she did not break in that house for no nude photo. Again, this is God Bless America routine. This is the God Bless America. Because if you question it, you're immediately a pervert again, and women know it. So. She says, I've had the morality police come after me with pitchforks on Twitter. Some suggesting I try abstinence and marriage instead. Well, that is too late for that old bitch. Instead, she told so abstinence and marriage. That was the first time I covered her. She talking about she riding the KFC now. Trying to take look sexy. I think I still look sexy. I still look sexy, guys. Fucking old bitch, go fucking sit the fuck down, man. Go fucking, it's sad, man. Like and like I said before, see, it's more sad the more relatively attractive they are. It's more because see, it's a harder fall for them once the ride's over. They can't get over. They can't accept it. It's a hard fall for them. Logically Flitter says, I was called a weirdo for making it clear that I'm not into fat women. Yeah. I believe you. If you don't worship women in the world, woman's fragile femininity just can't help. Fragile female ego just can't handle not being 100% desired to everybody at all times. Throughout the day or night, their fragile femininity just literally can't handle it, man. They can't. That fragile feminine ego. See, like I said, because they try to say that fragile male ego. Like I said, every time you deal with men and women, it's the opposite shit, dude. I'm saying usually more times than not, it's the opposite shit. It's that fragile feminine ego that they can't handle that shit, man. So she says, but revealing she commando rolled the heck out of there without him ever knowing has led to some controversy online. Yo, she broke into the house, got on his phone, went through his phone, and like I said, she didn't go. This ain't had nothing to do with a picture. This had nothing to do. Trust me on this, dude. This had nothing to do with a nude picture on his phone. But like okay, like with the stepson who punched the stepdad in the face. Let's go ahead. Let's just believe what she says because she thinks it's airtight. Dumb bitches, right? She thinks she has an airtight alibi. Right? This bitch broke into a house. Right? She walked into some shit that wasn't hers. All right? Lucky she ain't get shot. Some shit like that. She walked into this motherfucker knowing full well she don't belong in there. So she just committed breaking and entering right there. All right. Found okay, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say she made a beeline. She literally walked directly to the phone, sat down, went through the phone and figured out, found the picture and deleted it and walked out. Like, yo, that bitch, you need to be put in a fucking psych ward for some shit like that. Bitch, you broke into a house to delete a nude photo, which we all, okay, I know you didn't do that. I know you did. It wasn't, you ain't touched no damn nude photo. You broke in there to see if he was cheating on you or some shit like that. That way, not cheating or to see if you trust me, when bitches do shit like this, it's usually because women, see, here's the thing. Women don't know how to grow. They can't. Woman's growth period usually maxes out around the ages of, I'd say, 20 to 22 at maximum. For everything that their brain can handle and conceive and compare and regulate and figure out, they usually max out at about, I say on overwhelming average, around the ages of 16 and 17. But at best case scenario, around the ages of 20 to 22. After that, all growth stops. And after that, they just learn how to manipulate to still kind of fit in with social norms at that point. And then they just kind of like learn to imitate after that. All right. So but here's the thing. They realize they have to grow in some way, and I'm going to touch on that on another article that I picked up about speed dating preferences in women, which will back this up. See, woman does not have, like I say in my older videos, woman does not have personal hobbies, not very many in reality. She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything passionate. She cares about anything like that. She learns to say that because she's her other dingbat bitches on Instagram say it. But she don't care about none of it. All woman cares about is how cute does she look? How cute are the women around her? Who wants to fuck her? And where which guy can she use the most out of? And what's Kim Kardashian doing? After that everything else is just a facade that just try to blend in with social society and hopefully raise her social status at that point. That's it, dude. I'm telling you. So, but here's the thing. Women know that they have to grow in some way. So what do when they need to grow? They always have to latch on to some man and use and abuse that shit to try to figure out more about themselves. Because woman cannot grow alone with herself. Woman does not have the tools. Woman mentally does not have the tools to mature alone in her own body. Like if you lock if you lock men up in prison and solitary, right? I said solitary like the car in solitary confinement. Men will start reading books and shit and start educating themselves and growing. Bitches don't do that. They ain't ready to educate themselves on nothing. Right like that. Because she's nothing by herself, dude. She's nothing by herself. She has to find whatever you doing, and now she has to mimic whatever you doing now. And even when it's over, now she needs that closure to kind of figure out some more about herself. That's why she did it. The sound echoes. She has to find whatever you doing, and now she has to mimic whatever you doing now. So I think the other one came on because I could hear the echo. I think, yeah. So the other one probably came on. I'm testing it. Check. So I think the other one came on. I can hear the echo. The one that fucked up earlier. Here we go. I think, yeah. Okay. The other one probably came on. I'm testing it. Check. Yeah. Okay. No, yeah. What the iPad is on like a 20-second delay. But remember when the sound went out earlier? I had to make another audio input, and then I guess the first one just came back on. So this fucking sound like T-Pain. So I feel like I should keep checking the audio. Yeah, so yeah, when I made the other audio input, when I had no sound, the other one just popped back on randomly, so that's where the echo was coming from. So I bet in the other scene it's probably fucked up too now. But yeah, so let's continue with this shit. Let's see this. Despite some negative reaction, Jana said mostly her story had been well received, particularly by, in parentheses, other reject women. Yeah. Most of the response has been positive. I've had a lot of women message me say that they wish they had the courage to do the same thing. commit a B&E, bro. Like, for real. See, this is why I tell you all the time. See, with this part where I have the see, what do I say before? Most women do not have courage until they hear other women do it. See, now other women, they'll start coming out and, they'll start coming out and accepting it. Like I said in the last live stream, man, the only thing that, okay, if women had the same physical prowess as men and the same intellect as men and the same ability to grow as men, women would just rape, beat up, and there would be no more laws. There would have been never been any laws made. They like if you were to put woman in man's body, woman would just be rapist, flat out. She would just be rapist. The only thing, like I said earlier, the only thing that stops women from doing it is because she knows a man will finally beat the piss out of her ass. So now she has to detour to some little manipulation tactic to get what she wants and infect their minds and shit like that on some mental bullshit games. Like I said, if you were to put woman's mind into man's body, if we were to switch, woman would seriously just be rapist. They would be a rapist. Period. Like there would be no hesitation, no morals, morals and reasoning. This is men. This is man does this. Man creates laws and have legit reasonings and morals to what they doing. Women don't. But women figured out, we women figured out that, we don't have morals or nothing like that. But at the same time, since we don't have morals, we also can't really beat nobody up for real. So what we'll do is, since we don't like to get beat up, we'll just sit back and just stay quiet and just learn where to adapt and manipulate and work the game like that. AD is the reason women are like this stems from evolutionary need to fit in to survive. Yeah, because they're physically. AD use auto tune. But nuclear bomb. Yeah, because like I said, because they are weaker than man. Like like if you take a man and woman and you both train them to go out there and survive, right? And don't have nothing to do with sex, but just straight mental power and mental horsepower, mental willpower and shit. Woman will lose 15 times out of 10. All right. I say, okay, let's be fair. Out of every 50 times woman loses 49. Because there's gonna be that one who's impressive. This ain't on some woman hating shit. This is just on some, on some real shit. This is just on some real shit. Women only start caring about people when they get old. Oh yeah. Yeah, Joy. Yeah, when they get old, or for whatever reason she figures that she's not for whatever reason that she figures that she's not in the top of in her league of physical attractiveness. Okay, now you take a bitch like this, right? She looked with them saggy tits in the picture right here. You take her and you put her in Ohio. Oh, you won't hear none of this, because in Ohio, a man gonna chase her down and go buy her a house or something, and that man will work his ass off. That man will work his ass off for her. But I'm guessing she's probably looking like that. She thought she'd go handle her. If I had to guess, she's probably in an area where she's not the best looking woman. That's why she's still doing this shit. All right. Luckily, this happened a few years ago before phone security was as good as it is these days. I think there is nothing wrong with sending your significant other a cheeky pic, but we have to be cautious. Love has been known to fade, and photos have been known to go viral. Okay, not to burst your bubble. What's this bitch, Jana? Not to burst your bubble, but there's a whole lot other women I'd rather look at naked on the internet than you. All right, ain't nobody trying to go look at you. All right, have you checked the internet lately? There's a lot more better options. All right, but again, this wasn't about. But like I said before, man, this was not about some fucking nude. This was not about a nude photo. This was not about it. Like I said, if I had to guess, knowing bitches, right? If I had to guess, knowing bitches, the reason why she broke into that house was to was to see if there's any traces of him moving on to another woman. If I had to get like that, that's really what happened. I highly doubt she even touched the phone. All right, maybe to move it out the way because she probably seen a paper that looked like it had another bitch's name written on it, something like that, or she probably went through his contacts. But it ain't no nude. No, I don't buy that for a second. I don't buy that for a second. She did not break in a house to delete a nude photo on some old ass phone that had a shitty camera, bitch. And on top of that, she ain't nothing special. This bitch ain't, you know what I'm saying? This bitch ain't fucking Angelina Jolie or no shit like nobody, you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck care about this, about seeing her tits? I go to Pornhub right now and go look at some tits. Who the fuck would even care about this bitch? You see what I'm saying? Like, think about that. This bitch did not commit a B&E. This bitch did not commit a B&E to go delete a nude photo off her phone. She broke into that house. What sounds more logical is I believe she broke into a house, but she broke into a house to go find traces of another woman to see if he moved on because she done fucked around and got alpha widowed by him or some shit like that. He done re-injected her with that alpha widow shit, and now she's strung out on his dick now. If I had to get like that sounds more logical. Woman ain't gonna break in no damn house to delete one picture off his phone. I don't buy that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. She ain't breaking no house for no damn picture. It's not the first time Jana has spoken out about something controversial. In November last year, she revealed she's regularly shamed because she likes to wear clothes that flaunt her large breast. Who the fuck cares about this bitch's tits? What the bitch Felicity Feline, because after she made that reply, I went and checked their fucking channel, man. That shit was fucking pathetic. That bitch fucking pathetic. You go on her fucking channel, cause she trying to be a drummer and shit. And the only time she get views is when she's showing her tits in the screenshot. Because they fucking worthless, man. Nobody give a fuck about these bitches. Oh my man, who the fuck care about this bitch's large breasts? You know how many large breasts I could just go on X videos and see right now? Are you fucking serious? I am not going out. Ain't nobody going out their way to pay attention to this tramp's tits. All right. She also shared her thoughts on the subject of threesomes after discovering many of her male friends had partake in the steamy bedroom activity. This fucking worthless bitch. Okay. But again, this is the only thing this is the only thing that again anybody paying her any bit of attention in life, because it's clear she ain't gonna get married. It's clear don't no man want her like that, because if he did, she wouldn't keep finding herself having to break into people's houses. All right. The only thing that can get her attention is, oh, guess what I did sexually? Look at my tits. Look at my face. Look at my face with makeup on. Look at my face with straightened hair. Look at my face in this dress. Look at me. Me. Don't nobody other than that, don't nobody give a fuck what she actually can produce. You know what I'm saying? Getting a friend with, so this is Jana again. It says, getting a friend with benefits jump-started my libido and made me a better dater. Word, that made you a better dater for real? Getting pumped and dumped made you a better dater. Jump-started. But again, that's what, and this was written in March 2020. This bitch about 40 now. Showing, man, yeah, this bitch about 40. And like I say, man, and the reason why this is so sad, is because she used to have, you could tell she used to have a day where she would be like one of the top bitches in the room, depending on the room. She would be one, but it's a hard fall down. It's a hard fall, man. And then that's why it's so sad. Because she's just tumbling down. And like I said before, man, like I say all the time, the easiest thing on earth to sell is pussy. But in society, people want to try to make it like, well, if the man doesn't have anybody, well, he's a loser. No, it's like, no, that's just the other way around. If the bitch can't, if a bitch can't sell her pussy to keep somebody coming around regularly, then shit, that bitch is fucked up. Like, that's fucked up, dude. Like, okay, a bitch selling her pussy, like I said, you would have a harder time finding drinkable water in Walmart than you would selling pussy in the world. Or okay, for those y'all don't know Walmart, you would have a harder time selling drinkable water in a grocery store than selling pussy. Like, you see, and so the fact that, and on top of that, if she looks good too and all that, and she still can't, oh, you don't want that. How old? Oh, Joey, she's about 40 now. Because I think in the last one, she said she was like 36, 37. And I just closed it out already. But that was like 3 or 4 years ago. She's got to be about 40 now. So it says, Jana was surprised when her usually healthy libido took a hit. But after nearly a year of celibacy, she found it again in the unlikeliest places. Yeah, see, it's real funny how that sex drive goes to shit once you realize you ain't gonna never get married, and that depression hits because you did your hair perfectly, you did your nails, you did your makeup. How come you can't get married? Gasp. You mean I actually have to be a decent human? What? I ain't signed up for that. I just want to get my hair done, and the man just want to marry me because my hair done, and I got on some heels. That's all it should take. That's all it should take, and I know how to smile. Yeah. A chick's like her a dime a dozen here in Australia. Yeah, I ain't never been to Australia, but for what I hear is that shit is it. From what I hear, is nowhere near like the amount of fat bitches down there. But that whole hypergamy shit is like going off the charts down there. But I don't know. I've never been to Australia, and honestly, I'm scared to go. For a couple reasons. Let's continue. Everyone has one weird quirk that they secretly pride themselves on, and if I'm probably a little too honest, I've always prided myself on my sexual libido. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because that sexual libido that was always the backup plan. Whenever that poor personality she probably got didn't work out to keep a man around, that sexual libido was the backup plan. So yeah, that identity came with that. I developed urges fairly early in my teens, and thankfully I went out with a lovely guy from 16 to 20 years old, which really stopped me from running amok with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. I had a lovely first time experience and went on to spend my favorite years in a loving and sexually fulfilling environment. By the time I went away for university, I was smart enough to know better than to give away my sexual urges to just anyone. Well, what happened? Because you're doing it now. I had to be picky. Although, don't get me wrong, there are a couple of what was I thinking moments. A girl's got to have a few stories to shock the grandkids with later in life. In my 20s and early 30s, when friends would complain that they were too tired to sleep with their partner, I thought, nope, even if I just walked across the Sahara Desert for 6 days with no sleep or food, I reckon I can still muster enough energy for a quick roll in the hay. When other friends would complain that their boyfriends were constantly trying to put it in them, I would think, what are you complaining about? Sounds jolly good to me. For the first time ever, my libido took a hit. So imagine my surprise when last year, for the first time ever, I experienced a lull in my sex life. I was working ridiculously early hours on a new show, relaunching my own podcast, attempting a social life, and I spent most of the year crushing on someone who was all sorts of wrong for me. Well, that sounds like, the last part, that sounds like every woman in the world. Guy probably making fun of her, ignoring her, and all that shit. That just made her go more crazy for her. Made her go more crazy for him. I barely dated when I did. I have to admit, I really didn't go to any proper effort. What that resulted in was barely any time between the sheets and barely a want to. So for the first time in years, I took the Christmas holidays to actually stop and breathe. Apart from a quick jaunt to Byron for New Year's Eve celebrations, I spent most of my time in my parents' farm just relaxing and reflecting. Yeah, man, that Yeah, being 35 and can't keep a man, yeah, you're going to have a lot of extra time in your hands to just sit back and reflect on what ain't going to never happen. And how you fucked up. That's rough. Like I said, see, that shit's rough, man, because it's hard. That, like I say, man, the easiest thing to sell on earth is pussy. And like when a woman is single, that shit's embarrassing. Like men being single, because a man actually has to produce and perform and become. Where a woman's only requirement to being woman is just literally just be alive and breathe and and be awake. And some of us don't even care about that. Right? You know what I'm saying? So like, so when woman fails at being woman, dude, like that is like that's embarrassing, because that's the easiest thing to sell out in the world, man. That's the easiest thing. I took the time to process and bid adieu to a crush that was not worth my time. I caught up on sleep, and for the first time in my life, I took up jogging, as in I did it every day. Hot laps around the farm. I experienced the feeling of working up a real sweat and slowly found a healthy flush coming back to my skin. I didn't get so worked up over minor dramas, and I started thinking a little deeper, taking courses of action in my life that would kick my year off to a good start. Yep, who knew after looking after your health, who knew looking after your health and getting enough sleep would fix all your problems? But the one thing it really fixed me was for my libido. Hurrah, I found it again. Like what is this bitch's purpose in life? Like what the fuck is Hey, if ain't woman's watching right now, hey, take notes, or you gonna end up 40 years old standing on some railroad tracks in heels with your tits hanging out, faking a smile, trying to wonder why don't no man want to marry you. Take notes. Take notes. You end up like this. Mm. Now, women take notes. Yeah, she don't look terrible. She don't look absolutely terrible. She doesn't look absolutely terrible at all. But see, it's that reality. See, looks only get you so far. You got to actually be a decent human and operate in the world on your own. See, like just being a woman, well, you could be a good prostitute. But after that, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers don't really marry prostitutes like that. So you have to, and even then, you could be a prostitute with a shitty attitude. You gotta learn, bitches, y'all gotta learn how to fucking, y'all gotta like learn how to be decent. Maybe Beyonce should start making songs talking about having a decent personality. Then maybe bitches will start taking that shit on. Maybe they start reading books about how to have a decent personality. Them self-help books. I started having saucy thoughts about blokes on the TV and played with the idea of jumping back on the dating apps. Oh, well, yeah, that's all you got to do is just go on the dating app for 15 minutes and you're going to have some dudes ready to come pump a load into you. But they ain't going to marry you, though. You getting too old to be running. I think I got to go pop on a dating app real quick. You too old. Like, and I'm not saying this shit to be mean. I'm saying this shit. I'm saying this shit, you know, for treatment. You too old. Bitch, you are 40 years old. I think I hop on a dating app real quick. Bitch, you too fucking old for that shit, man. You too old. You gotta accept that shit. You old. You are old. All right, you don't look terrible. You're not a terrible looking. Okay, these pictures are probably from fucking 10 years ago. But let's say even if they wasn't 10 years ago. My assumption on what would happen to her body and skin, she's not awful for a 40-year-old woman. But it's that personality. It's that and she told on, okay, look, the last time she was able to have a relationship, she was in her prime, 16 to 20, and then she went to college. She tried to be picky. And from any inferences to her life, no relationship ever worked out. That's why she's doing all this shit. That's why she's just so busy. She's just so busy because she ain't got no man to keep up with. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Definitely not no kids. That's rough, man. That's rough. That's harsh. Not just me, but the reality of her situation and women like that in that situation. That's harsh. That's rough, man. So she continues. Oh, I organized 2 dates and actually pampered myself up for them. Unfortunately, both were not quite right and didn't get me dancing in the underwear department. But I was getting myself out there. Like, look, see, this is that shit. See, man, see, this is. They weren't quite right and didn't get me dancing in the underwear department. Bitch, just because you didn't want to fuck a dude the first 15 minutes you sat next to him, don't mean y'all can't. See, this is where these bitches don't understand the reality. See, when you looking for an actual relationship, there's more to a relationship than just fucking, all right? You have to actually be a human with this motherfucker. You got to talk and exist and all that. And you got to, okay, look, sometimes you just not going to be horny. The guy and the girl, both sides, they going to go fall in it for whatever reason. You know, it's going to happen. You're not supposed to just be head over heels in the first 5 seconds you met the motherfucker. You don't even know him like that. but see, like this is that media pumping in their head. See, media told bitches that they should know. What? Okay, it's part media and in part woman, because I'm gonna touch on that in the other article, in clips that I took from the article that studied what men and women do in speed dating, and I caught my girl doing it too. Like with women are very impulsive. There is nothing about a woman that says, okay. The only thing about a woman that says she'll sit back and plan is if she's gonna plan to dress up to look fuckable to that next higher guy in the room. That's about it. Anything else in life, she's not sitting back and planning for shit. All right? At all. Personality, nothing. Her primary focus is, well, as long as I can still look fuckable, I'll just rely on that. So I'm good. That's a woman's basic mentality, like, in the world. All right? That's it. As long as I can look fuckable and I know some guy wants to fuck me, well, that's all I need. That's it. That's it. Everything else, I'll just figure that out later. That's the reality of it. She continues. Late one Friday, though, I was feeling really in the mood. Having lacked the proper libido for 12 months, I was scared that the feeling wouldn't last long. So I scrolled through a little black book in my mind for any hot guy I knew who I thought might be up for a late night bed hop to get pumped to dump real quick. One popped straight into my mind. He's a lovely guy, but would make a terrible boyfriend. He is a bit of a party animal, and our personalities are not suited for any kind of commitment. Was I attracted to him? Oh, yes. Yeah. Because you know what? Because that guy is you. That guy, he's make a terrible boyfriend. He's a party animal. He's up for random fucks. Yeah. And he'll just take it because you just a random fuck at the time. Yeah. Yeah. He's you. You know, he's you. Ding! He's you. Like attracts like. I was reading this. What's it say? So the channel Hair and Makeup girls put me together today, and now I'm trying to come up with a get rich quick scheme so I can have hair and makeup every day. Oh yeah, see that makeup. See that makeup identity. That makeup and sex identity, like that's the world to them, man. Because to them that's their safety backup plan in life. Well, life gets hard, start fucking. In these westernized countries, at least, or countries that got money, life gets hard. Well, better start acting like I'm a decent human and start fucking again. That's their backup plan. Weapon X says, I'm 40. Even my younger bio teacher knows she's not in my league. She needs a date 50 and up. Yeah, man. Hey, I tell you what, man. Yeah, Mo, y'all, I'm gonna touch on that because I'm gonna stay on for about another hour, but I'm gonna touch on that because this article, I'm almost at the end of this article. But yeah, Weapon X, a friend of mine, he has his female cousin, and she's a really good looking girl. She's a really good looking girl, and she's 37, 38. And here's the thing, she has a kid, and her kid is like 18, 19 or some shit like that. And she and the woman is, and the mother, who looks really good. Like, I know her, like we talked and hung out and shit. She's cool. She's one of those where you can't tell which one's the mother and which one's the daughter. because both of them can pick each other up and they both laugh and run around. It's one of those scenarios where when you look at them, like, you seriously can't tell which one's the mother and which one's the daughter, unless the mother started drinking and smoking cigarettes or something. You're like, oh, okay, now I can see like she's more comfortable with it. I could tell which one's the mother now. But and I remember I was getting back that she went through the whole thing. Where'd all the good men go? Where'd all the good men go? And trying to signal that like she really kind of want me to go fuck with her. And I'm like, no, I'm not touching that shit, dude. And then he even said like, yeah, she needs to go date men. By the time men are hitting the similar ages, men are going down. Men don't want them. Oh, see, at that point when bitches start hitting 30, 35, 40, yeah, they better off with, a lot of us. I say 35 and up. Women hit 35 and up. The only men who's really in most cases, the only men who's really gonna take them serious, like serious, it's gonna be men, 50, 60, 50 and 60. But here's the thing. Them 35 and up bitches, they think that the men who are 50 and 60 are old. So they don't want to talk to them. So they just end up just being alone for about 10 years because the guys like me, we finally got our lives together, so we going off doing other shit. Seeing other shit in the world, so we've just left them behind in the fucking dust because at this point, see that girl who was beautiful and cute when she hit 35, 36, well, she's burned out in life now. She has no more options. She has no skills, no talents other than looking cute and having a lot of experience getting ran through. She has no skills or talents or trades to keep up with you. So guys, we grow off and we're off in the bigger and better shit, and she means nothing at this point. But yeah, Mo, I'm gonna touch on the clips from the speed dating thing. The clips that I took out really talked about the core of how what you'll just see later. Because I was gonna post it to Patreon, but I don't know if I post because it was a .edu link and it was a PDF. You didn't have to download it. It was on the website. But I don't want to get in trouble with like the school for posting that on or posting on my YouTube or something where they think I might be getting money for it or something. So I was like kind of skeptical about that shit. So I just took little clips out that I thought were pretty interesting. But anyway, let's see. Where I leave off. Okay, so why not enjoy yourself while you wait for the one? Why not enjoy yourself while you wait for the one? So I sent a cheeky little text, and within minutes I had a reply. Well, yeah, because you free pussy, bitch. That's why. You because you free pussy. Everybody can use some extra free pussy. A swift 30 minutes later, he was at my front door. We had a raunchy yet slightly fumble-filled night. Not only did this really jumpstart my libido, yeah, you bitch was getting spit and pissed on and got cock shoved down her throat and all her holes. And yeah, a motherfucker came in because women like that physical attention from men. They love that shit, man. That motherfucker came in there and pissed all down the bitch mouth, slapping her, choking her, grabbed her hair, shoved his fist down her throat. Then she got fucking ran through again. Not only did this really jumpstart my libido, but it gave me something to think about. Well, I'm out here venturing for the one. Is it really so bad to enjoy yourself with someone who will never tick that box? That's sad. Like, she is still stuck in that cycle, and she will never get out of it because it's all she knows. as a full-grown adult woman, it's all she knows. She will never get out that cycle. It's a very low chance. And like I said in older videos, I think it was like a Harvard graduate or something like that. And then this fits that same demographic. The prettier she is, and like let's just be real, the skinnier if she can just stay skinny and apply makeup and straighten her hair, she's always gonna think she's too good for any guy who's actually gonna want to sit down and marry her type of shit. Because her pussy is not calibrated for that. You see, her pussy, when women end up in this sad position in life, her pussy is literally calibrated to be for dudes like this. So guys, like, don't feel bad when these women just like ghost you or whatever the fuck like that. Like it's their fault, but it's not their fault. Because women try to say that guys are dogs, but really women are trained like dogs. And the thing is, they're trained like dogs before they even realize it. See, woman's brain and woman's pussy work on two whole different wavelengths. You see, this woman's pussy is literally calibrated for this type of dude. She can't get wet for a decent dude. She can't. It's literally biologically impossible for her. She can't do it. She can't. Her pussy will not open up, or she's gonna need a lot of foreplay, and pitch black dark, so she can imagine that other dude coming over there, some shit like that, and then having sex with that dude maybe like once every 2 months or some shit like that. See, that's how them stories happen a lot of times, because she tried to shut down and be a decent human, but it's not in her. I mean, yeah, she could stay skinny, get her hair curled and put on makeup and throw on that illusion that she's decent. But look, her actions tell on herself. Her identity is behind her ability to fuck. She can't keep a decent man around, and she has to keep calling up random booty calls and getting raw dogged off Tinder. It tells on herself. There is nothing in her resume or CV other than when she was 16 to 20, and let's just be real about it. She was, back when we were 16 and 20, there was no online dating and all that shit. So she was just dumb enough to just kind of just go with whatever guy would have the courage to fuck her type of shit at that point. But like I say in older videos, once women hit that real world, that grown up adult world, 20, 25, and they get out in that world and say like, oh, I'm not the prettiest thing in the world for real, that shit fucks with them. It fucks them up. So usually they either have to find a dude, just sit the fuck down somewhere, find any dude, just marry him. Or usually a lot of women, they never amount to much in terms of their actual purpose as a woman in the world. They never, most. Now some, they'll get lucky later, but more times than not, they because it's not in their conditioning. Their pussy is a condition for that lifestyle. They can't do it. She can't do it. Because if she could, she would, but she can't, so she won't. So she continues, now let me hasten to say that this is a terrible idea, that you are at a stage in your life where you might be suffering from a small dose of low self-esteem. Hey, we all been there. You can't be using your libido to also top up your self-esteem jar. Just because a bloke jumps into bed with you doesn't mean he's up for love and romance. This is rough. This is just getting hard to read now. There is really only one true there is only one rule to this theory. Go into the friends with benefits situation with a very realistic belief that this will never be more than that. You have to be comfortable with that idea, and you have to make sure they are too. No doubt someone will get hurt. This is sad. Again, women, don't end up like this. Because it can happen to you too. You get to listen to modern feminists and get on Instagram, listening to other women, and you gonna end up like this. You end up like, and just because she's skinny don't mean that that's everything. All right, you end up 40 years old, still trying to figure your way through life, trying to figure out the one at 40. Bitch, you old. It's over. Let it go. This can happen to you, women. A friend with benefits has worked a treat for me. Oh, yeah. Now we got to find a way to make it sound like she found a solution. She didn't. Because you know what's going to happen? She's getting plowed randomly, every Tuesday and Thursday night by some dude, you know what I'm saying? But when it's going to really hit home is when she see, one of her high school friends married with 3 kids, and, the other high school friend married, she on her second marriage and got 2 kids with the new dude and moved on in life. See, that's when all that shit's going to hit. And it ain't going to be a treat no more. It's going to be hell for her because now she's going to be jealous and angry, stalking their Instagram accounts, looking at what they did with their kids for their birthday and all that, getting mad. Now she's getting drunk more because she can't, because at face value, she has all the same things. She's a woman. How come she can't have it? Yeah. Because her personality probably fucking sucks. So it continues. Happily, I can say I'm in a fairly good place, and I've become one of those super annoying people who now rants about exercise. I often catch myself jogging. I often catch myself saying jogging is really good for not only your body shape, but your mental health as well. Yep, one of those people. You know what I thought about as soon as I read that? Y'all remember that mission in Grand Theft Auto 5 where that crazy white bitch was jogging and the mission was for you to keep up with her jogging? That's what I thought about as soon as I read that. That crazy white bitch in Grand Theft Auto 5. It was like these little side missions. Her whole thing was jogging. She was fucked up. So I find myself in a nice little current situation with an adorable friend who I quite like seeing naked from time to time. Thankfully, whenever we surface from underneath those sheets and actually chat, we are reminded that no, we are not at all compatible, but we sure can have some fun. The benefit is that it's now allowed me to date freely yet modestly. And like I this dudes, like I tell you before. See, when you meet these single girls, yeah. See, these girls they getting plowed. See, when these girls say like they're single and they're looking and online dating and all that, looking to date somebody, that's what Jana Hocking's doing. She just told you right there. She tells you right here. She's in a situation who she sees naked from time to time, and she has raunchy sex with him. But guess what? It's allowed her to date freely yet modestly. So do you think she's going on dates telling these dudes sitting across the table that's probably paying for the meal that she swallowed 2 liters of piss and and spit the night before that date, and she's looking for the one? Did she tell you? Do you think she told him that? No. I'm not letting hormones get in the way of my decision making, but that part of my life is being taken care of. I listen on dates, I engage properly in conversation, and I make decisions on whether I want to see them again based on our chemistry outside the bedroom. So, see, this whole last part right here is nothing more, like I said earlier, woman does not have genuinely decent morals, genuinely decent humanity as a human like by herself. She learns what she thinks men in society wants to hear and just regurgitates that. And this is why whenever you see, okay, like for example, I use the Kevin Samuels. I don't like say using other people's names, but I remember I watched like a Kevin Samuels thing, right, where he was interviewing this girl. This is why. See, men, we have genuine thoughts and genuine characteristics, genuine moral systems, right? This is why when you get into an actual conversation with a woman about genuine thoughts and philosophy, once you break through that initial barrier of throwing up that smoke screen of her telling you what she thinks you want to hear and dig it down to hear what she actually thinks, there's nothing. It's nothing. Every time she's got to stumble through this shit, she can't think of it, and she's just kind of stuck staring. She just like she's like there's nothing there, dude. She doesn't have it. This whole last part was nothing but was nothing but a smoke screen to try to regurgitate whatever she thinks men want to hear. Men and the women in her social circle want to and would see her as good. Because if you really look into it, she's based on whether she wants to see them. If she has to say this, if a woman has to say this out loud, that she's seeing them based on their chemistry outside the bedroom, the bedroom is all that matters to her. Well, you want to know why? And just a quick, a quick realization. The reason why the bedroom is all important to her because, okay, that dude she's calling over, she don't got a question about that. She don't got to make a decision to see him again or not. This woman is lost, dude. This woman she's fucked up. Should you find yourself in need of a healthy boost to your libido, may I suggest some sleep, exercise, and a friends with benefits. It's worked a treat for me. I'm sure it did, yeah. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. Okay, so what I want to do is this. Because I'm on my other... Hang on, let me do this. Because I don't want to put it all out. Not put it all, but I want to separate it. But I don't know how to work pages at all. So... let's do this. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Wait, can I move this? Yeah, I can. Okay. All right, so let me mic check to make sure my microphone just don't randomly cut out. So it's gonna echo. It's gonna be like a delayed echo for a minute because I gotta make sure my audio doesn't fuck up. So we at window capture. All right, let me see. Check. Make sure I'm still good. I'll put a link to this article up later. Or you could probably just you just type in something you see and just Google it. Okay, yeah. So the audio sounds all right. Okay, so these are just little snippets from this article that I read, like what they found in studies from speed dating, right? And I forget it was at a university campus, and pretty much like all this shit played out to it plays out how you think it'll play out. But it did touch on some deeper topics that I really wish. See, I really wish we really make it more the mainstream. But here's like my opinion on why these studies never make it to mainstream media is because it would become incredibly clear just how shitty women are in general, and there would be no way they can even defend it. Because they would be forced to have to explain it, and there's no way they can fight around it. Fight around the fact that, okay, in reality, men are the ones who want to love and care, and women are the ones who are just essentially a piece of shit that, men just want to fuck, so we just put up with them. In the end. Right? Because on average, not all women, but on average, especially on average in the world, you go out in the world, they're going to be pieces of shit. It's just that their personalities fucking suck. They're terrible. It's just how they are. So this is just a snippet. It said, for example, women may have a stronger need than men to see themselves as valuing attributes such as intelligence, and asking subjects to provide ratings on intelligence may force women to directly confront the need to align choices with a desired self-image. That and again, that part goes back to what I said. See, woman has to identify herself by this dream in her head and other motherfuckers that are out in the world. See, this whole thing of woman is strong and independent. She is not strong and independent. Everything about a woman is literally defined by material objects and her social status around her. Everything. And it's almost impossible for them to fully grow out of it. They can't do it. See, men, they'll get caught up with it for a while and maybe even play with it for a while. But for the most part, men grow out of it. Men are like, look, I don't care what kind of bed sheets I sleep on, as long as it ain't scratching me or nothing like that. Like, men eventually grow out. We will, it happens at different rates, but men eventually grow out of that shit, dude. We grow out. But women are suckers for stories and social status. And anything that's gonna aid with social status. They're suckers for it. So this isn't gonna be at the bottom because I'm just too lazy to separate this shit properly. Oh wait, hang on. I forget why I separated this. Let me read it. So this is another snippet. One exception is the increased attention to attractiveness that women exhibit towards more attractive men. Because of concerns that our results here may simply be picking up on non-linearities in the effect of intelligence and ambitions, we also repeated these regressions, including quadratic terms for these attributes. This does not impact the threshold effect. Gender differences. Okay. So the reason, wait, I gotta think about why the fuck did I take this out? Oh, yeah, well, okay, yeah. Because, yeah, well, okay, yeah, I remember why I took this out. Because, like I said earlier, like, especially when you're, okay, because this experiment was done at a college, at a university, right? So they're all in those younger years. And this is why I try to tell men all the time. Like, in those years, like, you are going to be on the lower end of it. Because I think in this same study, after the speed dating was over and they got matches, 64% of the men went out to initiate contact, while only 17% of the women actually went out to initiate contact. And also, with this, yeah, you guys can see that. So with this is what I was saying in my videos a while back. When you're in those younger years of life, anywhere between, I say, like, when guys are like ready to start noticing girls and wanting a girlfriend for real, when you're between the ages of like 13 to I'd say 25, 26 at minimum, unless you're just abnormally like something about you has to abnormally stand out and above. Like, you have to be abnormally good looking or tall. If you're none of these things, you're just not going to be any woman's top choice. All right, because that same girl can always go and get something, she can always go sell herself as just literally just existing as woman to go get something better. You see, and here's the thing: women don't give a fuck, because they'll just look at you and be like, ew, and move on. You see, especially if she thinks she's cute, she just ain't gonna. More times than not, she's just not gonna give a fuck. And see, there's situations like this. Is why I strongly, like, I really wish two laws would come into play worldwide. One would be, I think every man, no man. Okay, I think every man it should be literally law, federal law, for a man to have had sex with at least 10 different beautiful prostitutes at least 5 times. That way he gets all that shit washed out of the system. He knows what beauty is. He knows how to handle it. It's done. Poof. And now he can actually grow and move on and make actual decisions. Because a lot of guys get caught up on beauty. I was caught up on beauty for a while too. Like that. I was caught up on that shit before I came to Prague and went to the brothels. Now I'm out that shit. So like the beauty doesn't like intimidate me like that. But the other thing is that it should be absolutely illegal for a man between the ages of 18 to 20, I say at minimum 29, to get into any legally binding situation with a woman. Having a kid with a woman, marrying a woman, it should just be illegal. Because that woman has had experience with older and bigger and better men than you. I guarantee it. All of them. All of them, dude. All of them. This is why it's but see, that's the thing that's keeping men like down. Is for the former of the prostitute situation. I think every man should have access. It should be federal law. And here's the thing: I think men should get this card and that they keep with them, this ID card, right? But it has like some type of federal stamp to see like how many times you had, and line up the bitches on the card and stamp every time you have sex. And you are not allowed to get married or have a kid with a woman or even have a girlfriend until you fucked all these bitches at least 5 times. Right? These beautiful bitches at least 5 times. And if you caught doing it, you get in trouble. Right? I think that would ultimately help men, for real. In my opinion. You are generous, 80 today. You used to say 33. Yeah. Yeah. So what was the next thing? Okay, so let's just do these two. So this is another snippet I picked up. Hence, we demonstrate that on average, men do not value women's intelligence or ambition when it exceeds their own. Moreover, as a man is less likely to select a woman who he perceives to be more ambitious than he is. One concern with the interpretation of our estimates in tables 3 and 4 is that men's avoidance of more intelligent or ambitious women could be due to fear of rejection by these higher quality women. And see, okay, so like, and my thought on this is, okay, the reality of this is, most men really don't care if a woman's taller than them. Most men, like, I don't care. Some men do, but some men, like, I don't care if a woman I really don't care if a woman makes more money than I do. That has no effect on me personally. But the thing is, now when it comes to tall bitches, I just don't give a fuck. But when it comes to money, see, I know that woman is eventually going to get tired of it. You see, because that woman wants somebody better than her. That woman wants somebody. Well, and I think I don't know if I pulled it out here. But woman. What turned? Okay, yeah, because I didn't pull it out. Here's what it was. Men in this study, men were seen to value woman's physical attractiveness 20% more, while women valued physical attractiveness on average 20% less, but valued ambition and intelligence. They valued that more. Now, looks, they still had value for looks, don't get me wrong, but they didn't value as much as men. See, men really don't give a fuck. The thing is, I think man's more thing is knowing what woman's going to want and know that woman is going to fucking, always want somebody bigger and better than her. And like, does he feel like even, wasting his time, wasting her time dealing with this shit and taking her serious. Oh, then the last study was women strongly discriminate on the basis of race. Men, on the other hand, do not exhibit a significant racial preference. And see, and with that last part, see, with these studies, with that last part, that's really, see, that's one of those things where you'll never really get, okay, women strongly discriminate on the basis of race when it comes time for, having a man that she's going to be seen with in public and how to take to her friends and all that shit like that. But see, behind closed doors, she don't got that, right? She don't care who or what she fucks for real. She's only putting on that act because, like, again, women are fucking pathetic. They their whole lives are based off what other people think about them, so they'll just say whatever they think other people want to hear because they'll never have the courage to just, to do what they actually want to do because that takes independence, and women don't have independence because they don't have courage. All right, so they have to fit in with that backup plan of either having sex or having a social circle somewhere to prove she's of value. Right. But this is one of those topics that that will also go into the same studies as how many sexual partners a woman had. You see, you'll never really get. That's one of those areas it's going to be a big gray zone because every now and then you get a woman who be completely honest. There's other women who will strictly they only recognize the men who they thought were valuable in that sex as having sex. They don't recognize the guys who it broke their heart or they didn't see as valuable, whatever the fuck like that. They don't see that guy as having sex. That wasn't sex. They don't count that. And then there's other types. There's other bitches because I remember there was a guy here. We talked about it. He was working on this case to get this. And he was working on a case to get this girl's boyfriend to come over from overseas, right? And the girl was fucking him, and the boyfriend was like, Meg, and the boyfriend had no idea, right? And here's the thing, because if you are that higher quality male to her, it's literally it's her duty to fuck you. You see what I'm saying? Like once you get a legitimate profession in the world, or you got your own business, or what, as long as when you become legitimately established in some way, whether you got your own, you got your own legit profession, you run your own legit, area, field of practice, or once you own your own individual shit, like an example, like you got your own cave. You see now it's literally woman's biology says it's literally her duty to give you sex now. Like she has to. Like she has to, as long as you're not too weird and creepy, as long as you're just not too like socially awkward type of shit, it's literally like she has to find you attractive in some way, because even if you're not her type, she'll look at you and say, well, you'll be, this other girl's type. So I'll fuck with you because I know another girl would like you type of shit. She has to do it. See, it's 9:39. Let me catch them on the comments. What's up, Crunchy Candy? The Count of Kent says prostitution in all the United States should be legal. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But the thing is, if you were to make prostitution legal like that, I think honestly there would be a huge financial crash in the U.S. I think there would be a huge because at first, of course, all the bitches, they'll be charging, you get bitches be charging $1,000, $2,000, and you'll get bitches trying to milk it. But what would end up happening? Well, in my theory of what would happen, if you were to make prostitution legal in the United States, what would inevitably happen is this, in my opinion. There's going to be starving bitches in the hood. They'll do it. They'll go out fucking and sucking for lower and undercut the market and take the business, and then it'll just drive the prices down to where it'll all come back down to like a relatively decent rate. But then at that point, after men can just go out and just pay a much cheaper initial price for sex, well, now there's no more need to buy this big house. There's no more need to buy this nice car. There's no more need for a lot of guys to invest in nice clothes and nice shoes and colognes and jewelries and all. There's no more need. Like I said before, prostitution, what Tom Cruise said, I can't remember thinking that movie, Jack Reacher. Was it Jack Reacher? He said, yeah, the cheapest woman is the one you pay for. That's the cheapest woman. All right. There's no more need to go out to the bars and clubs drinking, $15 scotch, $15 shots and, $20 shots. There's no more need. There's no more need to pay to pay to enter a club, to listen to standing there and sacrifice your ears and mental health for this loud music bumping in your head all night just because you hoping to find some pussy and dance with a bitch and all this shit. There's no more need for that, because guess what? Now you can just go buy a bitch for $30. You see what I'm saying? And so really think about, my opinion is, think about how much that would fully disrupt the diamond industry, clothing markets in the U.S. Like I said, jewelries, cars, the housing market. No, you know how many motherfuckers are going out there working their ass off and attaining all this shit, and when you really talk to them, it's because they want a woman and they trying to get a woman, so they trying to get all that shit to be ready for the woman. But if prostitution became legal, completely legal, right? I think the market, the whole financial market in the U.S. would just take a huge tumble. It would be a huge crash. That's my opinion. But I'm open to other opinions for sure. Also, the hot broads from the brothels worldwide would add the USA to their circuits. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they want to go to the U.S. now, Dark Robe. And I tell you why. I remember I was talking to one. She had just gotten back from the U.S. She said she loved it because and we talked about it. She said literally in the U.S. she could just go to some sugar daddy app or something, and a dude would just send her $500 just to send it to her, just to saying, hi baby, how's it going? Where the fuck? She loved the U.S. And here's the thing: the guys in the U.S. see with the fucked up women market there, like the guys there, they think it's worth it. They think for the guys who can afford that, there is. Look, let me tell you something, man. I don't care if I got $15 million in the bank. There is no bitch worth sending. I don't give a fuck if it's fucking Rihanna in her prime. There is no way I'm sending that bitch $500 just because this bitch said hello, how you doing? All right. I don't give a fuck if it's the sexiest bitch on earth. I don't care if I got $15 million in the bank. I am not doing that. All right? I'm not doing that. There is no pussy on earth that's worth $500. Period. Fucking period. All right? Because you know why? Because there's always some other girl who's either she's willing to do it for cheap or willing to do it just to do it. Just to get in your circle of friends or whatever the fuck. There is no pussy on earth that's worth that. At all. The U.S. GDP would reduce by 20% if it was legal. The whole system would be fundamentally changed in the U.S. Oh, yeah. I agree, man. Yeah. Like the U.S. is thriving off prostitution not being legal, and thriving off of men who go look for prostitutes. But prostitutes don't really get in, relative to that. Prostitutes don't get any. They get in relatively zero to no trouble for being prostitutes. But they'll go hunt men now, because it's money. It's money in men if they got the hopes of sex. It's money in men. Then that's about the only field where there's money in men. Because in any other field, men we'll learn to just build our own tables. We'll learn to just build our own chairs. We'll learn to cook our own foods, iron our own clothes, wash our own clothes by hand. If you leave it to us, we'll just build our own. We will literally separate from the market and just do our own shit if we're pushed to it. You see what I'm saying? Where bitches like comfort. They ain't trying to do that. So the hook is keeping that prostitution illegal. Because that's the only thing that men will go out that zone to risk some shit for. Everything else, most men, they'll come to their senses and realize it ain't worth it and move on. But getting pussy, that is the one world where men will go in there and risk some shit. Because they monopolize pussy in the U.S. The U.S. pussy is completely monopolized at this point. And it's just getting worse. Because you got to drive everywhere, you don't walk anywhere. And by the time you do walk somewhere, you see a beautiful bitch. Oh yeah, you gonna remember that bitch for the next 2 weeks and hope you see her again. See y'all here in Prague. I mean, like every time you go down you go walking anywhere near the city, you gonna see a girl prettier than the last one you seen. To the point where it's just normal now. I'm not even impressed. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all who've been in Europe, I'm sure y'all could elaborate on that. I mean, there's even like go look, if you don't believe me, go look. Because I remember when I first came here, and I lived in Visacani, which was a shitty area. And I noticed it there. So I went at home and Googled it. I said, look, are European women more attractive than American women? And another dude had written an article about it saying how he went through the same conversion of growing up in America, and you might see like one pretty girl, like the one girl who works at Starbucks and she's cute. Well, she's like the goddess now because one, the bar sets so low in the U.S., and then two, you just don't see many women like that. So she'll just dominate because she's just skinny and took a bath and wore some clothes that actually kind of fit. You see what I'm saying? Whereas over here in Europe, that's the norm. Because I think me and my girl, we went to this store called Iceland. So for those of y'all who don't know what Iceland is this, from what I get from it and from the ones in Prague, Iceland is this store that sells a lot of frozen foods and canned and frozen foods from the UK, right? But the thing is, they sell a lot of all these pre-made, ready-made foods, right? And it's frozen. And my girl looked at it and she goes, yeah, I'm not used to seeing all this. It's all these frozen stir-fried dishes that you just heat it up and you eat it. It's always ready-made shit. And Czech people, they grocery stores ain't filled with shit like that. Like, I'm sure you could find a little bit of it here and there, but they ain't filled with all these pre-made. So their diets is just on a whole different level, man. So you don't see so here you see a beautiful bitch. You just walk down another street, and you probably got to walk down another street. Might be another one working in the glasses shop next door. You just look in there and see her, like, oh my god, like. And at first you'd be kind of you'd be kind of shocked. I remember the first time I left Ohio and noticed it. I went to New York City. I noticed it, and I took the friend of mine who was living in my flat when I moved over here. This was a long time ago. I took him to New York City, and I remember his head was just constantly on a swivel, just looking at bitches just not being fat and pathetic like all the fucking time. And he couldn't stop. He just couldn't stop turning his head. And I'm like making sure he's following me because I'm like I knew where I was going, but he had never been in New York City before, and he just couldn't stop. Right. Now, for those of you in New York City, imagine New York City, but imagine it times, I say, in Prague, imagine it times, as far as attractive women go, and the level of attractiveness, multiply it by about 3, at minimum. And then on top of that, I would say, and to add on to that, like I say, Czech women are to the U.S. what Kiev women are to Czech women. Like them Ukrainian bitches in Kiev, and they run around that money. Now them bitches are perfect. Like when I got back from Kiev, I was looking at Czech bitches like, ooh, you came out the house looking like that. Because them bitches out in Kiev, like on a Friday night, them bitches are them bitches will be immaculate. Right? Like they live that like them music videos y'all be seeing with them European bitches and all that shit. They live like that over there. Like, those bitches would be immaculate, dude. Like, I remember when I came back from Kiev, I was looking at bitches right here. I was like, ooh, you came out the house looking like that? And I had to adjust back to Czech. Baby, don't Czech bitches still look good. But them Ukrainian bitches put more effort in. I used to live in Germany for 6 years, word up. I was only in Dresden. I didn't go too deep in Germany. And Dresden is kind of like, from what I hear, is like that shitty suburb of a city type of thing. But I mean, it was definitely some good looking bitches in there. But a lot of times it would be just Czech bitches, coming up to Dresden to go walk around and shit, and even some German bitches. But I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about Germany. I guess I used to go there, go get some beers, walk around, hang out, shit like that. And the reason why I didn't like Germany, one reason because the beer was just too expensive. Like the beer price was like going back to American prices. It was going back to the whole 7, 8. What would be like €7, €8 for a beer. So I was like, yeah, I mean, at that rate, I might as well just go back to the U.S. Since I'm already living in Czech Republic. In Czech Republic, you go get a beer for $1.50. AD, you making me look at tickets to Italy. Hey, go for it, man. I would say, Mo, I say, yo, man, at least just go, just at least at minimum, just try to go. If you can afford it, just try to go for like a week or two. If you want to do Airbnb, that's cool. Or you can even find hostels that where you can have your own separate room in a hostel. And you know, I get that shit with hostels. Like there was a for those of y'all in Europe, I don't think Europeans really know about this because I always gotta tell them why Americans are afraid of hostels sometimes because okay, so for the Europeans that may be watching, in the U.S. there was this horror movie called Hostel that came out. And it was a hostel, but what happened, you know, some guy was like kidnapping motherfuckers and killing them in a hostel. So, and in America, we don't have hostels. So our only knowledge of hostels was from that movie. So a lot of Americans, as soon as they hear hostel, they be all like, oh, I ain't fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that horror movie came out. And like I said before, like I said in my older videos, media is a bitch. Media will fuck up your perception. Like I said, when I came over here, I flew Lufthansa over here. And that was the first time I'd ever heard German in real life. And I panicked because I'm thinking Hitler's coming back because the only time I ever heard German was in a Holocaust documentary. Other than that, I even told my girl, she didn't even think about it until I explained it to her. She goes, yeah, like, because I said, like, yo, wait, as I told her, okay, throughout all media, what other German media do you know that made it to anywhere near mainstream? And if you think about it, it's everything that has to do with Nazis. It's Holocaust, Wolfenstein, Inglourious Bastards. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You don't really hear any other German media where German has to be spoken out. So like for me, like I was panicking on the plane, and the only thing that calmed me down was there was this goofy German woman. That she was goofy, and she was kind of cool. But I remember we was on the plane. It was flying and shit. And so and we were supposed to sit down, right? And I mean, I'm sitting down. I had no reason to get up anyway. But somebody stood up, and these same damn near feminine male stewardess, them motherfuckers got on their Hitler shit real quick. They was like, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down. Like I'm like, yo, chill out. Ain't that serious? But yeah, that's that mechanical side of them. Like they don't get. That shit is like, you know, that shit can be looked at as kind of, you know, scary when you do that shit. But they was cool for the most part, they was nice. I ain't had no problem with them personally. They was real nice. And it was mostly men stewardess. I don't think there wasn't that many women stewardess on that Lufthansa flight. So I remember one of them looked just like Zac Efron. Because I don't even know how I remember what that motherfucker even looks like. Because I ain't never seen nothing with him in it. But he did something with Seth Rogen, I think. And that's how I remember him. And that motherfucker looked just like, I just said his name? Zac Efron. I'm like, yo, is that Zac Efron? Motherfucker must have fell hard. He serving platters on a flight? That's a hard fall. He looked just like him, too. As soon as I seen him, I was like, that motherfucker... He looked just like that motherfucker from Bad Neighbors. What's that shit, Bad Neighbors? He looked just like that motherfucker from Bad Neighbors. I remember the first time I had some legit, like, thick, syrupy beer. That was when I was in Scotland. And I thought it was bad, right? And I gave it back to him. And I said, well, you can taste it, man. I think this shit's bad. And he said, oh, no, that's how it's supposed to taste. You just ain't never had, he said, you just ain't never had, you know, thick beer like this. But I had never had, you know, like a thick, like when you get like thick beer, it's like, it's almost like a molasses type of thick. Well, not that thick, but it's like, it has the same look. But as soon as thick beer hits your lips and you ain't never had it before, you know something that ain't regular beer, right? And I thought it was bad, so I sent it back. American media thrives on promoting ignorance. Oh yeah. But my opinion, Germany beer tastes better than American. Neo Morpheus. Honestly, I don't even remember, man. Because I used to go about at least once a month to Dresden. I used to drive up and just hang out. But I don't even remember. I honestly, because here's the thing, man. I'm one of those type of dudes, like, all beer tastes the same. Unless it's like a violent change in it, I don't taste much of a difference. Like, to where I can say, oh, this tastes hoppy, and this tastes, I don't get that shit. It all tastes the same to me. As long as it's not, as long as it's not something violently off, like, I can't taste the difference. High viscosity, yeah, crunchy candy. High viscosity, yeah. It's not exactly like, molasses. It's not exactly molasses. but it's definitely like as soon as it hits your tongue, your lips and tongue, like you know something ain't right. Like I said, I took it back. I thought it was bad. When I discovered hostels, it changed the game. That's where all the women are at. Oh yeah, all them traveling bitches. Oh yeah, yeah, man. I remember I met this sexy ass French bitch, and in the when I went to Argentina, and you know she was actually nervous to talk to me. Well, because she was French, and French, yo, and I remember I met some French dudes at a bar, and so because they came up, so we ended up talking like, yo, like, so I had so many questions for you motherfuckers, like, yo, not you, but I mean, like, I said I got so many questions for you motherfuckers, like why, like, what's all these rumors, like, the rumors that all y'all motherfuckers know English, but you don't want to speak it, like, why is that? He goes, I tell you why. He said because and this is what he told him, because the one dude, he was the brave. He was like 20, 22 or some shit like that. But the one kid, he was the brave one. He was the one who was like open to talk and be, you know, he was the eccentric one. He's like, I tell you what that is. He said because French people know that they, you know, have that different, completely different sounding of an accent, so they get self-conscious about it. So they don't want to, you know, they don't want to, and on top of that, they be afraid they're gonna fuck up English on top of that. So they don't be wanting to speak English. Because they know they sound a certain way, so they self-conscious about it. So that's why they don't do it. So we got to talking. He was a cool dude. He was saying, yeah, and he was saying the same thing. He was saying how Czech is very difficult for him too, because his native language is French, and he just couldn't even begin speaking Czech. My Czech is awful, but I can get by. But my Czech is fucking awful. Yo, AD, if you like movies, check out Butchers. Okay. I quit beer because of the carbs. Just drink vodka and whiskey now. Word up. Yeah, whiskey's always good to me too, man. I was drinking that beer, just kind of fuck with my anxiety too bad, man. It really got too bad. All liquor and beer taste the same. Yeah, I'm with you, Mo. Yeah, well, to me, yeah, and here's like when it comes to liquor, I like strong. Like I know a lot of people don't like strong. I like liquor to taste like fucking gasoline mixed with a fucking hydrogen. But I want when I drink liquor, I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the liquors that aren't that strong, but I like it to have a fucking kick. I like it like when I swallow it, yeah, I go, ah. I like that shit because I got Tatra tea. I think it's a Czech. It's a Slavic alcohol. I don't know. It might be a liquor. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's called we would say in English we would say Tatra tea. So you can Google it. It's usually in this like bottle like this, and it's like it's in different colors, and it has that strong kick. A lot of people don't like it, but that's why I like it because it has that kick. Is LSD popular in that country? I don't know, Mr. Smile. A1 Games moonshine. Yo, I had I don't call him like a friend, but he's a colleague when I was in school. He used to go down to Atlanta, Georgia, and he used to go get moonshine. He used to go get and bring it back to Ohio and, you know, sell it and drink it for himself and all that shit. And he used to get that moonshine, dude. That because I remember it was after one night we like all the people from class, we went out to, what was that? Not Fuddruckers, what you call that? Frickers. We went out to Frickers in Xenia. So go if you don't look. There's a Frickers in Xenia, Ohio. We went out to that Frickers, and we got to talk about moonshine. So he said, "Well, yeah, I got some in the car. Come back. I just made a run. You know, come to my car. I'll show you." So we go to the trunk. This motherfucker got like tons of moonshine, right? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. I always go down. I always make a run down. He knows people in Georgia who make it down back off in the woods. You know, all that shit. And he go down and get it from them and bring it back up to Ohio and sell it. And he said, yeah, so drink this. And he said, but don't drink too much because you can't even taste it. Because it's that shit, like you fuck around and drink that shit, dude. You can't taste that shit and you fuck around and be dead off that shit. Because I remember I took, and it ain't had no taste to it. I'm pretty sure what he gave me, it had no taste to it. But I took one swig of that shit, dude, and I felt it like a little bit later. You know, because alcohol takes a little bit to hit you. And it was like just all clear bottles. It looked like water. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't take like that. That's some shit. Like that's and see. I don't want. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say this. With that shit of like motherfuckers who be spiking bitches drink, like all you would have to do, like for real, is get some of that like legit moonshine that don't got a taste to it, and just mix it into some bitch's alcoholic drink, and she'd be fucked up in 20 minutes. Like getting this drug of that shit like that. Like, if you want to like spike anybody, not just bitches, you want to spike anybody's drink, like do anything, just get you some get some of that good moonshine. You'll kill somebody at a party doing that shit because they can't taste it. AD, watch the movie Showgirls. Yo, that had the girl from Saved by the Bell in it, and that's why I don't. If I remember correctly, that's why I don't watch it because I ain't never like her. I never thought she was sexy. I don't know why they even put her up in some stripper shit like that, and because she's on the cover of it. Let me think. I'm pretty sure that's it, and that's why I never watched it because I ain't ever liked that girl. I'm pretty sure that's the movie. Elizabeth, yeah, I think that's her. She was in Saved by the Bell in them later seasons. Yeah, and I just don't find her attractive at all. So like trying to I mean, her body doesn't look bad, but her face just don't. No, I just don't. And that's why I never watched it because I hate when they try to force sexiness on women who look like who look like that. So that's why I never. But I'm sure it's probably good. Was his name Bo Duke? No, I can remember his name, but yeah. If maybe that's a joke, I don't know. Say German and Belgian beers are good as they have good ingredients and more taste. American beer is too light with no flavor or prestige. Yeah, Dark Rebel, a friend of mine, he's from Belgium, and we used to talk about Belgium. He said that Belgian beers are stronger too, because I remember I met him in Chescalipa, and we would talk about in Czech Republic when I was living in Chescalipa, and we still text every now and then now, but real cool dude. But he was saying how the Czech beer he was just downing it and wasn't getting drunk at all. I guess some beer he had in Belgium because he's from Belgium. He said some beer is stronger there. Was that moonshade made with brown sugar distilled? I have no idea, Neo Morpheus. I have no idea. He probably told me and I just didn't pay attention because I'm not really into it like that deeply. But like I said, I remember we went to the trunk and he popped the trunk. And he just had tons of it because he had just made a run to Georgia. You hear the Drake hot sauce story? No, I have no idea. Drake hot sauce story? Nah, I don't know what that is. AD, I just want to say thank you for helping break out a simp way. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for tuning in. Super appreciate it. It was a joke. Oh, Bo Duke, is that a joke? Yeah, I'm sure it's probably a joke. That shine ain't no joke. I used to help my uncle make it along with wine when I was younger. Yeah, that should have killed you, man. That should have, because you can't taste it when the motherfucker when they know what they're doing and do it properly, you can't taste that shit at all. You could just sit there and legit like drink it like I'm drinking this water. Like, and it's just, nothing. Like no taste, nothing. You kill yourself with that. Or kill somebody else with it. And they wouldn't even know what happened. I'm not gonna lie, when White Claws and Truly are your favorite. Oh, word up. Yeah, Mo, I tell you what, Mo, I went through this phase about a month ago. And I told my girl this, like I never had this desire, but I had a desire to drink, like them Friscoes and like them white, like like them drinks that people call like them bitch drinks, them that had the flavors to it that taste like lemonade and shit like that. I never had a desire for it, and all of a sudden like for about 2 weeks, I drank them strong bows and shit. I just had a taste for like sugary alcoholic drinks. And I told her like I never drink this shit, and it lasted about 2 weeks. I would just get strong bows and Friscoes from the Vietnamese store down the street, because they cool too. Vietnamese store down the street, they cool. I remember I broke a beer on accident. He ain't make me pay. I tried to pay him for it. He wouldn't take the money. I broke it. I had a bag and I was like, hurry up, trying to get out. And the bag turned around and brushed the fucking aisle and knocked some beers off. And one broke. I tried to pay him. I felt bad about that shit. I tried to pay him. He didn't want to take the money for it. Reminds me of Korean soyu, potent drink, tasteless. I've never had it. Okay, the presentation. 010, never had it. Never had it. Is it? Like here's and when it comes to doing this shit, man, like I'm just like I am no aficionado or none of that shit, right? Like I can't like I have time. I got time. I can't even remember my own birthday, right? Um, but I always end up around people who are like damn near experts in the field and be giving me shit for free. Kind of like because they just want to see, they just want to see me try it for the. I guess that's probably where I'm fitting in with this with them. Is like they want to see me try it for the first time type of shit. So they'll just give me a lot of it, because it's kind of like that they like I guess they have fun watching me with it. So I got a bunch of weed in my closet and not in my whatever thing in there right now in the pan. Well, not a bunch. I just got a little bit. But every time I come, well, I be having the time I don't want any weed. I got a friend of mine. He smokes a ton of weed all the time. And he always wants to give me weed. I never smoke by like if I do smoke, it's because he starts rolling it up, and then I'll smoke now because you doing it. But I'm not the type of person like I'm not gonna do it. The only thing I'll do on my own is drink. I don't smoke anything or do coke or anything like that like on my own. Like, I'll do it if somebody else has it, but I'm not gonna do it like I have no interest. I have like literally zero interest in anything about it, like on my own. LOL, I can OD from vodka if I don't keep track of how much I drink. Whiskey and rum, I know when I hit my limit. Word. Yeah, I got rum, and that's what I was drinking last night with some Czech rum. I don't like rum. I don't like gin either. Gin tastes like trees. I don't like gin. Is off. I fucking hate gin. With K-pop becoming mainstream, I saw a commercial for Soyu, if I'm pronouncing it right, Soyu, in the U.S. I was like, damn, we going to be adapting to Korean culture too? That's cool. That's my favorite place in the world, but I don't mess with it. You remember? Hey, the presentation, I remember I had a girlfriend who was from South Korea, and she was the one teaching me about that whole Asian conflict, and then because I was so fucking stupid, dude. I ain't know any difference between any of that shit. So I didn't even know Sony was Japanese and Samsung was South Korean. I think that's what she told me. So it's like they got this rivalry going on with that, and she just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Like I said, she was from South Korea, and she would just go on. I remember she took me to my first legit sushi place, and I couldn't eat it. It was at the time it was out of my league. I couldn't fuck with that. It was like a real sushi spot, not one of these little fusion sushi restaurants and or like a basic sushi. It was like real, like shit that looks fucking disgusting type of shit. Like, and she was on that because she told me she grew up. I think she said she grew up with they had a pet monkey and a pet chicken, and they had all this shit. Like shit, in America is completely unheard of unless you live in that special area in rural cities or something, like not rural cities, but out in the country or something. She was cool though. She was cool. Once you go Asian, you won't go back Caucasian. Yeah, she was cool though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a weed smoker myself. Word up. Zuki says weed. If I drink, it's for taste, to enjoy a drink, not to get drunk. Not gonna sacrifice liver health for no reason. Tasteless drinks, no thanks. Word up. Have you tried the magical mushroom? No, but I did. And again, I knew a guy. I remember when I had some friends and living in Kentucky. Well, no, I didn't have. I had a friend of mine. Okay. I don't know if y'all remember. I talked about when I was in college. I took an acting course, and my first partner was this girl. Her name was Ashley, and she was real. She was actually pretty fucking cool. She was a cool girl, and I just remember this one scene we had to do, and for some reason she just kept reading her lines as by my Paul, but the line said "be my pal." For some reason, she didn't even realize she was doing it. She would just keep saying it like "by my Paul." Like that was pretty funny. Acting is a fun thing to take up in school, man. I would definitely recommend it. But she had friends in Kentucky, and one of the friends got like the massive land, shit like that. Some shit like a fucking slave house type of shit, some shit like that, right? And and they had like a little mini farm with like the cows and horses and shit. They had all this shit, dude. Like I was educated on all. Like I remember like because it was a family down there, and it was one of them families where like they all like they had so much land to where like all the families built their house like on the same piece of land. Like I swear, like I thought about this a couple days ago. The stories that I come up, like motherfuckers would think I'm lying because it sounds like I just did too much. Like I've been involved in too much shit. Because it like even I think like wow, like a motherfucker will think I'm lying because I will say so much shit and have like legit experience in there with it type of shit. But anyway, I remember when I learned this. So like I said, it was this huge area of land, right? And it was one of them there is that thing where all the families built like they built their like when the mother and father they built they house and then they taught their kid how to build a house and he built his house next to it and then he was building a house for his kids type of shit, so they keep all the generations like on that piece of land, right? So and I learned this, when a motherfucker knows how to build a house, man, that would be the most beautiful house you will ever see in your life. That would beat anything you see on MTV Cribs. See that money and buying motherfuckers out in California doing that shit? That ain't got nothing on them motherfuckers in Kentucky who know how to who will go out there and literally build their own fucking house from the ground up. Literally from the ground, they will go out there themselves and do it. Them motherfuckers will make the most skin tight shit you will ever see in your life. The most beautiful houses, and they don't skimp on shit, dude. Like, because since they built their own shit, they ain't paying for all the extra labor, so they can take all that money and buy like these beautiful refrigerators, beautiful microwave. Like when they build their own house. What's up, KD? When they build their own house, that shit was everything is perfection. When you look at it, it's just there is nothing out of place in it. Nothing. Not nothing. It's pure perfection, right? I cannot give them enough credit for what they did with that. But the guy who the son, the one who was building another house, he educated me on how they kill cows, and he was making mushrooms out there. They showed me where they was doing it. They literally just shit on the mushrooms, dude. That's it. But he educated me like how they kill the cows. Like I didn't know this. He said they take a little 22 and shoot them in the head, because the reason they have to use a 20, and this is what he told me. He said the reason why they have to use a 22 is because like a bigger gun, the bullet would just go, when they shot it would just go through, but a 22 is strong enough to just go inside but not actually leave. So what happens, the bullet, instead of actually leaving the head, it just kind of like just goes aside and just garbles their brain and kills them like that. Shrooms can help you level up mentally, I'm sure. I never tried them. Like they were trying to do them. I just wasn't on this shit. Especially at that time, I just wasn't on that shit. But yeah. No, yeah. I'm trying to build my own house in Cali, but away from the NPCs, off grid type shit. Word up. Yeah, man. I'd say, man, hey, like I really wish I had kept track of them, man, because they were real cool, dude. I'm telling you, like there's type of people, man. They go in and cook you a bunch of, man, because the wife, she would just cook everything and anything, man, and it'd be like perfection, dude. Like she would go in, she'd come out like you like okay, you know how you see in them old movies where, you know what I'm saying, with Clark Kent in Smallville, when they had like a pie sitting in the window type shit. Like they do that for real. That ain't from they didn't make that up. They do that shit for real. Like put a big ass chunky healthy pie in the window to let it cool down. It was real cool. I wish I had kept. I have no idea how to even find them again now. Because again, that was before the days of, that was back in 2009, 2010. So this is long before I was into Facebook well enough to keep track of motherfuckers. I could probably find her, but I couldn't find them. If a bullet goes through, they don't die. I think it's like there's a chance they don't just completely flat out die, but he said that the 22, they specifically used the 22 because the bullet wouldn't actually leave, so it would just like spin around and just like turn. He said What he told me was, yeah, you can literally like cut the head and just pour the brain out at that point. That's what he said. I don't know if that's he probably just exaggerating to tell a story, but that's what he told me. AD got some crazy stories. Yeah, Zuki, that's the thing, man. Like I thought about it a couple days ago. I got so many stories. Like a motherfucker would think I'm lying, for real. Well, that's what happened on Facebook a couple days ago. I was telling my side of the story until I actually start bringing out, personal facts about shit, and then motherfuckers, because they want. I was on Facebook talking about like police, firefighters, and military. Like I'll be real about it. Those police, firefighters, and military, but for the most part, are generally going to be considered uneducated blue collar work. That's just the reality of it. Right? I went to the military. I can accept it. Military is a fucking poverty draft. That's what it is. Just like fucking police academy and most firefighters. It's a poverty draft. Motherfuckers don't wake. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't be coming from well-to-do families going off to go off the military and become police officers and firefighters. I mean, every now and then you'll find some who do, but for the most part, those are jobs for the relatively poor. You see what I'm saying? And motherfuckers let me have it for saying that on Facebook. I got roasted for saying that. They jumped down my throat for saying that, like it's uneducated. They say, well, no, because you're gonna have 18 months of training or 6 months of training. Like that. Well, yeah, but okay, in these sectors, those are seen as blue collar jobs. Like it's just the reality. I mean, it's blue collar, poverty draft, blue collar jobs. When I say poverty draft, more in the sense of like military draft. You get to go in and you are gonna have some benefits while you in there and all that shit. And the reason why I could talk about especially police and firefighters so freely is because my uncle was the president of my gay uncle I told y'all guys about. He was the president of the civil service. So I would get a lot more intel and inside information that the regular motherfucker just don't get, in everyday life type of shit. Like and the tricks they'll pull on the hiring process, shit like that. Like, because I remember when I was in Ohio and Dayton, they were looking for they claimed they were looking for police officers, right? And they were advertising, we'll start you at $50,000 a year, back in 2009, 2010. We'll start you at $50,000 a year. Just pass the police officers training test, blah blah. Now I talked about my uncle told me exactly what was going on. They weren't what they were specifically looking for was affirmative action hires. More specifically, they were looking for more blacks to become police officers, right? And my uncle was black, but he knew what it was because he ran the fucking civil service. That's why, right? And he would come and tell me this shit, and so I would just hear a story so I knew, of course I knew some white guys, and I hear them say they want to do it. I'm just like, I was like, no, I want to tell them don't do it, dude. But I'm thinking like they're not even gonna believe me if I tell them anyway. So I'm just letting them just go ahead and do it. And then like clockwork, they came back. Oh, I got rejected. I know, motherfucker, because they looking for they put out because here's the thing: if they was to advertise looking for police officers, they're not gonna say, oh, we only looking for affirmative action hires. They can't say that. So you just gotta say, look, we looking for police officers. You see, and yeah, but then what happened was this. So they ended up getting tons of applicants, right? Tons of them. But everybody failed the test. And so, see, this is what they won't say. This is what military, with these job fields, you won't learn this unless you unless you know people who work in there who will educate you on it. But then the rest of the world is not, like the rest of the average world, they not going to believe you because they don't want to believe that these worlds can move like this because they want that belief. You see what I'm saying? So what happened was like literally everybody failed the test. Out of the tons of applicants, everybody failed. So they had to put a curve on it. and then pull out the blacks who actually passed it and hired them. That's what happened. So I think out of all the applicants, they didn't hire many. It wasn't many. All the affirmative action hires that they got, because they tried to apply saying we're looking for police officers. They didn't. It was no more than 15 max, and it was like hundreds of people. Where they had to schedule it for like different days, and it was like because I remember I went to go see him where he was helping to set up all this shit. He's walking around in a suit, and when I come to see him, he comes, talks to me for a while. I went to go see him, and it was like this huge area, dude, with like this desk set up all in there, and it was so many they had to set it up for like I think like 2 or 3 days for different applicants to come in and take the test. So it was tons of them. Thing about the military is you can do 20 years and retire for like 60K, but you got a bachelor's degree that starts at 80K in 3 or 4 years. Well, it depends on where you are and what job you're doing, all that. Because I got a master's, man. It depends on, because, yeah, but I see what you're saying, yeah. Do you think everyone's pushing for World War III? U.S. putting its legs up on purpose. Brandon. China enhancing its military, prepping, and Russia on standby. I have no idea, man. Honestly, I think my honest, because I don't know much about it. I'm not gonna act like I do. But if I had to guess just from the outside looking in, I think the public just wants to be scared. So and I think COVID's finally starting to die down a little bit with that whole fear. So it's just kind of like people just want to be afraid. Because Easy Peasy taught, if you still watching Easy Peasy, he taught me something about it. He said, like, this theory of why COVID's being so, it's this whole fear mongering with COVID is because because the first jump was actually from religions dying off, generally speaking. The seriousness behind religions are dying off. So now people need that fear system to keep them moving. So now it's COVID. It's this, if you don't do something right, then something's wrong gonna happen to you. They need that deeper fear. And in my opinion, I think it's just going to just move from COVID to look at, like, pay attention to every word, every word and every world leader is going to say now. I think it's going to just transition over to that. I can't even be friends with social with SJWs or manginas anymore. Word. Think about military. Okay, yeah, I read that. But yeah. I'm trying to think. What was I going to say earlier? I was going to mention something. Oh yeah, well, with the poverty draft, yeah, because that's all it is. And I'm not too stuck on my own ego to admit it. That's what it was. It's a poverty draft. That's essential. Because like I said, you ain't gonna find too many doctors and lawyers kids going off to risk getting shot at and falling out of a burning building and shit like that. They ain't going off to do that. Who's gonna go do it? That motherfucker who can look up to that 50,000 a year, not that motherfucker who is looking down at it. You know what I'm saying? That's who's gonna go. That's who's gonna value that shit. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say next. So I remember, oh yeah, because I talked about this last night. I was drinking. I remember, because he used to want me to go to hearings for these civil workers who was getting ready to get fired, and I wouldn't go to a lot of them. But I remember I went to one because he kept hyping it up because he said this, and I found out later this one hearing, it was this dude. He was a sniper. And my uncle was scared he was scared the sniper was gonna do something wild. So he had like police waiting, like I think there was an undercover cop in there waiting and sitting over there with me. He had motherfuckers he was scared for real. But I remember because he was like it was a hearing, so he was the one everybody had to talk to. So he was sitting over there reading the paperwork, like writing shit down and like giving his opinion and hearing him talk, and they ended up firing the dude. He did. I still can't remember what he did. But I would get so, like, Mom, he used to tell me so many stories about that hire and fire. Like, I remember he told me a story about this one police officer. He had been brought in to be questioned and be, like, psychologically evaluated because he did something fucked up. And during the evaluation, he tells my uncle that in his off time, he liked to go catch, and I'm so not making this up. He liked to go catch stray cats and tie them up in the basement and just like mutilate them and kill them and shoot them and stuff like that. And my uncle, he was like, "Why would you tell me that? And I'm in charge of your job." And of course they fired him because the more he kept talking, he just kept telling on himself, and he was even more and more crazy, But I mean, I got so many stories about that shit. Because I remember I used to make fun of him. I'd be riding with him. And I remember I used to make fun of him because I remember they bought new Magnums or Chargers. I can't remember what it was for the police department, right? And I was roasting him. I was like, why did you get these motherfuckers Chargers to go chase down, beat up fucking Monte Carlos? Like, that was a dumb decision. Why did you motherfucker just buy a fucking regular, what I'm saying? Buy, a Taurus or something like that. A Ford Taurus would suffice for that. These motherfuckers ain't driving Lamborghinis in Dayton, Ohio. These motherfuckers driving beat down Monte Carlos and Hyundai Elantras. You don't need no damn supercharged Hemi V8 Magnum to go chase down these motherfuckers. I used to roast him about that shit. You like war movies? Not for real. Nah, Borkoff. I'm not a fan of war movies. I still ain't watched Saving Private Ryan because I seen a scene of it on YouTube and it looked pretty good. But I don't like war movies. I don't like gun. I really don't care. I got a soft spot for 007, John Wicks, but I really don't like guns. But I tell you, I did watch a movie today. I watched Eternals today. It was about 2.5 hours long until I had to pause it and get up and leave because I didn't think Eternals was too bad. It wasn't completely awful. And I like the stance it was on. I like the deeper thought of how they, spoiler alert, how they were, putting the ideas into humans to lead them to, inventions so they can grow. I thought that was like something interesting, because they say pretty much explain like humans on their own would have never invented a steam engine if it wasn't for them, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, there was some interesting parts, but overall the movie was kind of flat, and I think Angelina Jolie just really didn't fit in at all, and that shit even though she didn't do a bad job, but she's Angelina Jolie, she just really didn't fit in, and then she was kind of on that, I don't know why they do that shit with women heroes like Jean Grey. Like, they're always, like, borderline pathetic and end up being more of a problem than anything type of shit. Like, kind of like that Jean Grey shit with it. Oh, I'm fainting. I can't handle it. And then that motherfucker's got to go detour off fighting fucking Galactus to go pick this bitch up because she's fucking pathetic. Like, man, sit the fuck at home, Jean Grey. We don't even need you like that for real, bro. You don't do nothing. Just go home and just be on standby in case we all just die. That way we have somebody that can possibly do something. The fucking, what's that? Sue Richards is another one. That pathetic fucking, they always did that shit. Like, and for some reason they took that bitch out to battle with them. Like, this bitch is a fucking hindrance on our ability to protect. Leave this bitch at home. Go fucking cook something. Stay the fuck out of my way. I'm trying not to get killed, and here you are fainting because you had to think a little bit. You dumb bitch. Just go home. Just get the fuck out of here. Band of Brothers, by far my favorite war movie. Word up. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here. It's 10:30, man. I'm gonna get off here. So yeah, man, thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you for all the support, comments, chiming in, the likes, views, all that shit. Thanks a lot, man. Much appreciated. And I catch y'all on the flippity flip. I gotta do it for a while because when I end it, it ends it a little earlier. So I gotta hold